They are people of global influence and in most cases global significance. They're also a relatively short list to learn. This is the Quiz Academy Guide to the UN Secretaries General. The United Nations was established on the 24th of October 1945 in order to promote international cooperation and prevent conflict. Since its foundation, it has grown from a membership of 51 countries to over 190 countries today. At the head of the United Nations, as its chief administrative officer and to all intents and purposes the chief executive and public face of the organisation, is the Secretary General. To date, 9 men and no women have held the post. The only restriction on who can be elected to the post is that they cannot come from one of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, that's the USA, China, Russia, UK and France. Having said that the UN Secretary General can't be from a member of the UN Security Council, there is one slight exception, and that is a man called Gladwin Jebb. Jebb was a British career diplomat who was the secretary of the body that created the UN, and from the 24th of October 1945 until the 1st of February 1946, he served as the acting Secretary General. So while he was not a canonical Secretary General, for this reason alone, Gladwin Jebb is worth remembering. The first official Secretary General was Trygve Lie, the Norwegian Foreign Minister. He took office on the 2nd of February 1946, and although he was re-elected in 1951 against the wishes of the Soviet Union due to his stance on the Korean War, he resigned the following year after Senator Joseph McCarthy accused him of hiring disloyal Americans. Lacking the support of either of the major superpowers, Lie's term of office was undistinguished. Another Scandinavian took office in 1953 when the Swedish politician Dag Hammarskjöld was unanimously elected. At 47 years of age, he remains the youngest person to have been elected to the post. He was re-elected in 1958. He was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for his work in the Middle East and during the Congo crisis, but he died when his plane crashed in northern Rhodesia in mysterious circumstances en route to peace talks. He is the only man to have been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize posthumously and the only Secretary General to have died in office. Hammarskjöld was succeeded by the first non-European Secretary General, Burmese politician U Thant, who had been instrumental in the Bandung Agreement that established the non-aligned movement, and he offered continuity as the chair of the UN's Congo Commission. He served from 1961 to 1971, making him the longest-serving Secretary General. Perhaps his finest moment was his intervention in the 1961 Cuban Missile Crisis. The post returned to European hands in 1972, when Austrian diplomat turned politician Kurt Waldheim was elected. He served 2 terms, but was denied a 3rd term by a Chinese veto, and stepped down on the last day of 1981. Since then, there has been a limit of 2 terms for the post. Controversy was to dog Waldheim after his time as Secretary General, with the revelations that he had lied about his service in the German army in World War II. But that didn't stop him from serving as Austria's president from 1986 to 1992. Peruvian Javier Pérez de Cuellar was the next to take the hot seat, holding it between 1982 and 1991. During his time in office, he had to deal with conflicts in the Falklands and Cyprus, as well as Namibian independence. He served a brief stint as the Prime Minister of Peru in 2000. It was the turn of Africa to provide a Secretary General in 1992 when Boutros Boutros-Ghali from Egypt was appointed. His 2nd term was vetoed by the USA, but in 1997 he became the founding Secretary General of the International Organization of Les Francophonie. The post stayed in Africa with the election of Kofi Annan in 1997. He is the only UN staff member to date to be elected to the position. He served for 2 terms until the end of 2006. In 2001, he became the 2nd Secretary General to receive the Nobel Peace Prize, receiving it for his human rights work and his elevation of the status of the UN. He later came under fire for the UN's failures during the Rwandan genocide. Ban Ki-moon of South Korea entered the post with question marks over his human rights credentials. However, his lasting legacy is likely to be the 2015 Paris Agreement on climate change. 195 countries signed up to the agreement. The latest incumbent, taking office in 2017, is the former Prime Minister of Portugal, former President of the Socialist International, and former UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Antonio Guterres. We have yet to see what the defining issues or themes of his tenure will be. However, his silence on the subject of the Chinese treatment of Uyghurs has been strongly criticised. Things you must know: the names and the nationalities of all of the UN Secretaries General. Things you should know: when they were in post, their key activities as UN Secretary General and their achievements, and what makes them unique. And things you could know: what they did before they were Secretary General and what they did after. We hope you've enjoyed this Quiz Academy video. As ever, there is a lot more to learn about this subject than we could cover. That's now up to you, but you might find the following resources helpful. The links will also be in the description, and if you have any useful resources to add, tell us in the comments and we'll add them to the description. Don't forget to subscribe to All Things Quiz to make sure that whenever we bring out a Quiz Academy video, you're one of the first to find out.